Good evening, everybody. From Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, we bid you welcome to Reds baseball. The Reds and the Expos meeting in game number 2 of the 3-game series tonight. And 2 right-handers will go to the mound, both impressive young right-handers at that. David Palmer, undefeated in 3 decisions. He'll be throwing for the Expos. Frank Pastore, 4-2, will be on the mound for Cincinnati. We'll be back to take a look at the starting lineups in just a moment. If you're ready now, the starting lineups tonight for the Montreal Expos. Leading off at left field, Ron LaFleur. Batting second, the shortstop, Rodney Scott. Hitting third, Andre Dawson in center field. Batting fourth in right field, Ellis Valentine. Hitting number 5 at third base, Larry Parrish. Batting sixth, the catcher, Gary Carter. Warren Cromartie will play first base and bat seventh. Hitting eighth at second base, Tony Bernazard. And batting ninth, the Expos pitcher, right-hander David Palmer. Once again for Montreal, it's LaFleur in left field, Scott at shortstop, and Dawson in center field. Valentine in right field, Parrish at third base, Carter catching. With Cromartie at first, Bernazard at second, and Palmer on the mound. Taking a look now at the Reds batting order, leading it off in center field, Dave Collins. Batting second, Ken Griffey in right field. David Concepcion will play shortstop and bat third. Hitting fourth in left field, George Foster. Danny Dreesen will play first base and hit number 5. Batting sixth at third base, Ray Knight. Hitting seventh, the catcher, Johnny Bench. Batting eighth at second base, Junior Kennedy. And batting ninth and pitching for the Reds, right-hander Frank Pastore. Once more for Cincinnati, it's Collins in center field, Griffey in right field, Concepcion at shortstop. Foster in left field, Dreesen at first base, Knight at third. With Bench catching, Kennedy at second, and Pastore pitching. Well, he'll be working the leadoff batter here for the Montreal Expos, right-handed batting Ron LaFleur. He was without a hit in last night's game, but certainly made his presence felt. Had 2 walks, 2 runs scored, 3 stolen bases. The pitch from Pastore is taken high for a ball, and this game is underway. Ron LaFleur checking in at 273. He's homerless this season, has knocked in 8 runs. Pastore's next pitch to the plate, and LaFleur takes a strike. The count evens at 1-1. Rodney Scott, the shortstop, on deck. Then we'll take a look at center fielder Andre Dawson. While the Reds have lost 6 of their last 7, Montreal going the other way. They won 8 of their last 9. Here's ball too low, and 11 of their last 14. So the Expos, after a relatively slow start at the outset of the season, have put things together. Only 3.5 back of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pitch is swung on and fouled out of play, and it counts 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pirates winning last night over the San Francisco Giants, 4-3, that final score in 13. So the Bucks maintained their 3-game lead over the Phillies and 3.5-game edge over the Expos. 2-2 to LaFleur, taken up high, full count. First inning was a rough inning for the Reds last night. Montreal getting 5 runs and winning on to win it 7-4. Swung on and fouled away, and LaFleur hanging in as the count stays at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Records for the 2 clubs, Montreal 18-16, the Reds 21-17. Once again, the payoff pitch. That is swung on and hit to right. Ken Griffey will make the play, and LaFleur is out number 1. That'll bring up shortstop Rodney Scott, hitting only 196 with 4 RBIs. And we might point out the Reds will need a win tonight to remain 3 back of Los Angeles. The Dodgers defeated the Cubs at Wrigley Field today, 4-2. Bobby Welsh got the win. Rick Sutcliffe picked up the save. Say and Smith had solo home runs for the Dodgers. Off-speed pitch is in for a strike to Scott. Rodney, a switch hitter, better the other way, where he's hitting .333 than he is as a left-handed batter, hitting .162. Takes it inside. It counts 1 ball, 1 strike. Pastore checking in and brings on the break-even pitch. That's at the letters for a call, strike 2. Defensively for Cincinnati, Dreesen, Kennedy, Concepcion, and Knight. First, second, short, and third. Foster, Collins, and Griffey from left to right in the outfield. And behind the plate, Johnny Bench. 1-2 pitch to Rodney Scott. Strike 3 call. Got him looking at a fastball. So Rodney Scott caught looking. First strikeout for Frank Pastore. And with 2 down, the batter will be center fielder Andre Dawson. LaFleur is flying to right. Scott has looked at a call, third strike. Dawson, a .238 hitter. 4 home runs, 16 RBIs, and Against Reds pitching so far this season, he's 1 for 10 with a run batted in. So Frankie trying to knock him off an order in his first inning. Breaking ball in for a strike to Dawson. Swung on, fly ball, right field. Griffey drifting back. And on the warning track, he'll make the catch, and that's all for Montreal. 3 up and 3 down. After a half inning of baseball in the middle game of this 3-game series, the Expos nothing, and the Reds are coming up. David Palmer, first time we faced him this season. He is 3-0 with a 170 earned run average. He's had one decision in his career against the Reds. That was a winning one back in September of last year. And, well, you talk to Dave Van Horn and Duke Snyder, the Expo broadcasters, and they say this young man is a throwback to the old days. A hard-nosed, come-at-you right-hander that will not give an inch.
Well, Marty, you look at David Palmer and you see how he was acquired. You find he was a 21st round selection in the June 76 free agent draft, and actually was signed by a gentleman who was in the Cincinnati organization, and his dad managed the Reds, Bill McKechnie, Jr. But you look at a 21st round, and man with this kind of, he has to be a bulldog.
Dave Collins waiting on his first pitch, and he takes a strike on the inside edge. Palmer's made 9 appearances, 5 in relief. No complete games among his 4 starts. But his numbers are impressive. The 0-1 to Collins, taken for a strike, and Dave quickly in an 0-2 hole. He's batting .306, Dave Collins. Home run, 12 RBIs. He'll be followed by Ken Griffey, Dave Concepcion. Manager John McNamara has his 8 everyday regulars in the lineup tonight. Collins has been hitting well. He's hit safely in 16 out of his last 17 games. He swings and hits a bat-handled ground ball to second. Up and throwing is Tony Bernazard, 1 away. We'll bring up Ken Griffey. Both Johnny Bench and Ken Griffey out of the lineup last night. Kenny batting .283. He's homered twice and has driven in 16 runs. Palmer, 22 years old. He won't be 23 until October. He's out of Glen Falls, New York, now makes his home in Memphis, Tennessee. We'll see another one of their good-looking young right-handers tomorrow in Scott Sanderson. Here's a pitch to Griffey. Too low for a ball. Palmer, 6'1", 195 pounds. Last year was 10-2 with the Expos with a .263 ERA. Griffey checking his swing on a pitch down and in. Third base umpire Billy Williams calls it 2-0. No score, bottom of the first inning. Reds are trying to beat the Expos for the first time. They've played 3 times, and the Expos have won them all. That's on the outside edge for a strike. 2-1. Paul Pryor, the plate umpire tonight. John McSherry at first, Fred Brocklander at second, and the aforementioned Mr. Williams at third. Palmer tugs at the bill of the cap. Brings a 2-1 pitch onto the plate. Griffey swings and grounds to the second baseman. Bernazard on to Cromartie. 2 down on back-to-back ground balls to second base. Oh, as Dave Concepcion heads toward the plate, here's how the Expo defense looks. The right side you're already familiar with, Cromartie and Bernazard. Scott and Parrish on the left side at short and third, respectively. Out in left field is Ron LaFleur, and center Andre Dawson, Ellis Valentine in right, and Gary Carter catching. They'll play Dave Concepcion straight away. Davey swings and sends a fly ball into center field. Waiting on it, Dawson. He has it, and like Frank Pastore, Dave Palmer has set the opposition down in order in the first inning. Thus, at the end of 1 complete, Reds nothing, Expos nothing. George Foster heading toward the plate to kick off the home second here, hitting .265, had a couple of singles last night, has homered 4 times, has driven in 14 runs. Palmer in the first, retired Collins and Griffey on ground balls to second, and Concepcion on a fly to center. Palmer to the plate. Foster takes a strike. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, you have to figure Foster's due to hit one. He has not homered since the 21st of April down in Houston when he got Joaquin Andujar in the 5th inning. Monday night ball game that proved to be the winning run. He bounces foul, and that carries on to the Montreal dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Danny Dreesen due up next. He'll be followed by Ray Knight. Palmer looking down to Gary Carter. And kicks and throws. It's up and in, 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Marty, a little interesting here. Paul Pryor almost threw up that right hand, covered up pretty good.
He sure did. He
took
just
his mask off.
Kept it in one sweeping motion and just whipped the mask off. I think somebody would have yelled a little bit loudly if he'd have called that pitch a strike. Foster swings and pops it up on the infield. Going behind second and out of the first base side of the bag is Rodney Scott to make the catch. Tony Bernazard has started in also to play, and he slipped momentarily, but Scott was there easily, and Foster becomes the first second inning out. One away now for Danny Dreesen, hitting at .254. Second on the club in RBIs, Dreesen with 22. He's homered 3 times. Takes a strike. This Montreal pitching staff, interesting statistic. Not allowed a home run in the last 13 games. That's a club record. Swung on and hit hard into right center field. Valentine, however, is there and hauls it in. 2 out. That'll bring up Ray Knight. The last opposition home run was struck by the youngster from Paintsville, Kentucky, Johnny LeMaster of the Giants. Hit one in the 5th inning of a May 4th game at Olympic Stadium off Bill Lee. That streak covers a total of 121 innings, and that is a very impressive statistic. Points up that this Montreal pitching staff has been doing quite some job in keeping the ball in the park. 2 away for the .282 batting third baseman. Club leader in RBIs with 28, 5 home runs. Knight looks at it low. That's taken high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes on Knight. Should he get on, Johnny Bench would hit. Well, Palmer has retired the first 5 to face him. We are scoreless here in the bottom of the second. Knight swings and pops it up. Might be a play for Carter behind the plate. Comes back to the screen, and he's got room and makes the play. So for the second straight inning, the Reds go out 1-2-3. And after 2 quick innings of baseball, Cincinnati nothing and Montreal nothing.
Now Kenny backs away from the plate. Outfield playing Ken about straight away. LaFleur shaded a bit towards center and left. 2-0 pitch. Griff swings on it and fouls out of play into the green seats left side. Two balls to strike to Griffey. Palmer works. Griffey swings, bounces it back to the mound, and Palmer has it, throws a crow, Marty, and 1 out. Palmer reaching back across his body and just did get to it. 1 away, Dave Concepcion, the batter. Dave, a fly ball to Dawson in center field to end the first inning. Dave, a couple of hits last night. Dove in one of the Reds' 4 runs. .221 batting average for Dave, 2 home runs and 15 RBIs. Palmer delivers. Concepcion looks at a curveball that drops in for a called strike. Palmer has his sign, the 0-1. Curve, and Dave tried to check his swing but couldn't. He's behind to Dave Palmer, 0-2. Foster waiting on deck. Palmer the 0-2. Curve, that swung on and bounced foul. All right in front of the plate. Now holds it. No balls, 2 strikes to Concepcion. Dodgers will be here for 3. The doubleheader starting at 1:15 Monday, and then Tuesday night 8:05. Again, the 0-2. Fastball misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Concepcion. One-two pitch taken just high, and Dave started after it. Count evens 2-2. Palmer checks the scoreboard and now looks into Carter, and the 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Got him with a breaking ball, and that's the second strikeout for David Palmer. 2 away, and George Foster the batter. George popped out to Rodney Scott at shortstop in the second inning. He said George has not had an extra base hit in his last 57 times at the plate. In fact, his last extra base hit was the home run off Joaquin Andujar on April the 21st in Houston. Well, you know George is way past due. Palmer delivers, and Foster takes it high and inside a ball. George does have a 6-game hitting streak on the line. Outfield straight away, the 1-0. Strike call on the outside edge, and the count evens 1-1. Palmer has the sign from Carter. Now he's going to get another sign. Carter flashes another, and now backing away from the plate is George Foster. One and one to George Foster. George back in, and Palmer winds and delivers. Curveball hangs high and inside. 2 balls to strike. Two 1 pitch up high. 3-1 to Foster. Danny Dreesen on deck. 2 out, bases empty. No score here in the 4th inning. Palmer has not walked a batter as yet, but he's 3-1 here with Foster. Three-1 on the way. Foster swings, and a fly ball center field, drifting back on Andre Dawson. He's to the warning track, looking up, and there it goes. Well, George Foster, his first home run since the 21st of April, and the Reds lead it 1-0. Andre Dawson drifting back with him, and it looked like he was going to catch it, but the ball went right exactly over the 404 marker in straightaway center field, and the Reds lead it 1-0.
So Ken Griffey gets us underway in the 6th with a ground double down the right field line, bringing to the plate Dave Concepcion. David is flied out and struck out.
Well, Marty, a little excuse me job there. Kenny really fooled on the pitch, but got a good part of the bat on it. And Warren Crow, Marty, still doesn't believe it. Crow, you got to be ready.
Crow's something. You know that?
He's case.
I'm going to tell you, he is an excellent interview.
Not lost for words.
No, sir. Very enjoyable fellow. David Concepcion now, and the pitch to him is swung on and popped up but out of play down beyond the Reds dugout.
Talk to him. He enjoys playing this game.
Oh, I'm telling you. Oh, very refreshing young man. He definitely does. He's an articulate guy. He swing the bat pretty good, too, and has really done a good job at first base. Reds would like to be able to get Griffey in with the way this game is going. You don't look to get too many off David Palmer. Strike 1 pitch. Swung on and grounded to the box. Looks to Griffey. Kenny didn't stray too far off the bag to get himself into trouble. Palmer elects to go for the shore out at first. 1 away.
Marty, David trying to do his job. You have to give him credit there. He was trying to go to the right side, and of course, if he gets it by the pitcher, he gets what he wanted to do, and that would be to get Kenny over to third base.
Now it'll be George Foster after Rodney Scott and Dave Palmer have a meeting behind the mound. Talking about what's coming up ahead for the Reds here at Riverfront. The Pirates will be in for a big 3-game set on June 10th, 11th, and 12th. So make your plans now to be on hand when Dave Parker, Willie Stargell, and the rest of the world champions come into the Queen City. Foster, who homered in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2. Checking the pitch. Strike call. Reds had a shot at Palmer in the 3rd, couldn't score. Had another shot at him in the 5th, and were kept off the boards. And now got a leadoff double here in the 6th by Griffey. 1 out. Foster swings and misses at a breaking pitch, and he's behind 2 strikes. Palmer taking a little bit extra time out there. That double by Griffey was his 6th of the season. Ray Knight leads the club with 10. Junior Kennedy, he has 8. Foster grounds it hard off the glove of Cromartie, but he'll pick it up and beat George to the bag as Griffey goes on to 3rd. 2 out. Well, now Danny Dreesen. The second potential run of the night down at 3rd base as we pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network. Danny Dreesen takes the first pitch that hits the dirt. Carter makes a play on the ball. Danny in the 2nd fly to right, hit the ball hard. In the 4th, bounced to second baseman Bernazard. Griffey off the bag at 3rd, and the 1-0 pitch swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fine pitching here at Riverfront tonight, I'll tell you. Right-hander rocks, kicks, and fires. Dreesen line drive, right field, base hit. Valentine started in, couldn't play it. Run scores 2-0 Cincinnati. Back to the top of the order we go. Following the strikeout of Jerry White, the 7th of the night for Pastore. Here's Ron LaFleur. He fouls it back on a late swing. Now Pastore, 2 outs away from his 2nd shutout of the season. On opening day here against the Braves, he limited that club to 3 hits and a 9-0 win. Breaking ball stays upstairs. A ball and a strike. Right-hander 1-1 to the plate. LaFleur fouls it off first base side. 1-2. Pitching line on David Palmer. 5 hits and 2 runs with 5 strikeouts and a walk in 8 innings. Pastore owns a count advantage and brings a pitch to the plate. LaFleur chops it foul, and the ball bounces out toward the mound. Rodney Scott will follow Ron LaFleur to the plate. Pitch just missed away with a fastball. I'll tell you, he has been right around that plate for the most part all night long. Two balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a foul. Bench hung on to it. Back-to-back 9th inning strikeouts. 2 away. Here's Rodney Scott. He spanned twice and grounded to second base. So Frank Pastore trying to end it right here. Montreal has had only 2 hits, a single by Valentine in the 2nd, a single by Cromartie in the 8th. A foul off the left field line by Scott, strike 1. Fires Grounded to the box. Pastore has it, throws to first, and this one belongs to the Reds. He was brilliant tonight. A 2-hit shutout for his 5th victory of the season as Frank Pastore and the Reds defeat the Montreal Expos 2-0. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, we saw two good-looking young right-handers hook up tonight, and both quite obviously had their stuff. Frank Pastore's was just a bit better than Dave Palmer's. Frank allowed only 2 singles, one by Ellis Valentine in the second, an 8th-inning base hit by Warren Cromartie. He struck out 8, a seasonal high for him, while walking only 1. His 4th complete game of the season, in now 9 starts. His 2nd shutout, dropping his earned run average to 277 as the Reds defeat the Expos 2-0. Pastore gets his 5th win. The Reds broke open the game, They scored first, and that came in the 4th inning on the 2-out home run to center by George Foster, his 5th of the year. For George, it broke a long drought. He had not homered since the 21st of April down in Houston off of Joaquin Andujar in the 5th inning of a blow that turned out to be the winning shot in that 6-5 Reds win. The Reds scored their final run of the 6th on a double by Griffey and a later 2-out single by Danny Dreesen to make it 2-0. Reds threatened in the 3rd, getting their first 2 men on, but Palmer was able to rise to the occasion, stranded 2 with 1 out in the 5th, but with the way Frank pitched tonight, 2 runs was certainly all that he would need on this particular evening. The Reds had 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 5 left, while Montreal had no runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, and 2 stranded. Palmer, in losing his first loss of the season, his record is now 3-1. As a team, the Reds are 22 wins and 17 losses, and as we pointed out, if Philadelphia goes on to beat Houston, and they're leading by 3 runs after 7, the Reds would show a record of 22-17. Houston would be 21-17. The Reds would remain 3 back, or do remain 3 back of the Dodgers. Houston, with a loss, if they fall to Philadelphia, would then be 3 1/2 games out. We'll close out this series tomorrow, 2:15 to start time, as Charlie Lebrand, a left-hander, goes out after his 4th win of the year. He's 3-2, and Montreal will counter with another good-looking young right-hander by the name of Scott Sanderson. He's won 3 and lost 3. Plenty of seats available. We certainly hope that you will avail yourself of the opportunity of coming out and catching the Reds and the Expos in action, and we'll be along with the pregame shows on the Reds Radio Network beginning at 1:45 Cincinnati time. Again, the final score tonight in a game that took 2 hours and 1 minute to play before a crowd of 30,024. The Reds 2 and the Expos nothing.